And how's everyone doing? How's the new year treating you? I hope you're doing all right. I know it's been a really hard year last year for people. Finishing up their degrees, changing jobs, getting laid off, the pandemic. And it looks like we have quite a few more months of that. I'm wishing you all the best with having resilience and strength to get through day by day. Because I know it's really hard for me sometimes. Sometimes I just want to sleep or not stream or not apply for jobs or not do courses to further educate myself. It's hard stuff. This is a big, like, life-changing thing that occurs, you know? So what I've recently done is I'm slowly going through this new mental health, like, it's not resolutions, it's more of like mindful reflection and trying to analyze like a good annual reflection and goal setting tool. And this one that I found is really organized and mindful and reflective. And it's a free to download booklet that has a lot of different languages. And you can have it like focus on specifically, like if you want it to talk about the, like extended pandemic, I recommend adding that supplement. But for some people, they don't really want that in their calendar review for the year. And then they have it digitally or like a printed version. So this is what I'm going through right now. So I'm excited for it. And I think that's going to be our first book club review of the year. I'm going to make a post in our Discord that helps us focus on that. And people don't have to necessarily share their exact, like, this is exactly what I put on page 5 or whatever, but more of like, yep, I finished page 5, or like, I need a little help on the third question on page 12 or something. Like, what did you guys, like, what's an idea of what you guys put? So yeah. A bit stressful day at work, getting used to a new work schedule, but love going, so can't complain. Well, that's good, the exception. I'm sorry that it was a little stressful and that you're getting used to the new work schedule, but definitely giving you lots of love and strength doing that, my friend. Good luck. So, usually I try to do, like, mental health Mondays. I know it's Tuesday, but that's fine. We're gonna do this a little bit right now. So let me turn down this music slightly, so it's a little loud. There we go. Just turning it down a little bit. So I have 8 tenets to be able to kind of help you get into 2021 with resilience and some strength, some psychologically backed scientific studies. So the first one is pretty obvious. I think most of us have heard this kind of thing: perform self-care. But self-care isn't just like, oh, take a bubble bath, paint your nails. It's focusing on the basic founding blocks of taking care of your body, your mind, and your soul. And that means different things for different people. But the basics would be: try your best to avoid substances such as alcohol and cigarettes. Do your best to eat nutritious foods. Try to make sure you get some leafy greens in, and protein either from beans or from chicken or so. Do some exercise. Get a dumbbell or do body weights, sit-ups, push-ups, wall push-ups. Those are really fun. I've been trying to do those lately. Stretching. Even if you don't really want to, like, exercise, stretch your body. Sit down on the floor, put your leg out, and stretch your arm towards your feet. Like, being able to get that blood flowing, that kind of stretching is really, really good for you. Get adequate sleep. Some of us might be, you know, on winter break from college, or maybe we're in between jobs. So you might not be like, I get up at 6 a.m. before I go to work or something like that, but that's okay. Make sure that you just have healthy sleep hygiene. Make sure that you're getting enough sleep. And if you might be sleeping a little bit too much, try to adjust yourself and your schedule. And then stay hydrated. Please, please drink lots and lots of water. Please do. Water is really important for your health. I try to drink 2 of these a day. If I could do 3, that's kind of ludicrous, but sometimes it happens. I put some pre-workout in here because it has like amino acids, BCAAs, and a little bit of caffeine. And so yeah, that's the basics of self-care. If you want to do a bubble bath, great. If you want to paint your nails, great. But that's not, that's the pretty, like, Instagram-esque version of self-care. Self-care is like, sleep well, don't over self-medicate with alcohol, and drink a lot of water. The basics of life. Another really important tenet, I think, is don't read the news so often. So, for instance, there's the Georgia runoffs that are going off today. We're not going to know the exact results of that because they still have to count mail-in ballots and early voting ballots. So it's going to be a few days before we know about that. Look at a headline or two. Look at AP News or Rutgers. Things that aren't going to be over-sensationalized or clickbaity. Don't constantly look at it because it's going to stress you out for no reason. There isn't much you can do as a regular citizen. If you went and voted, if you don't live in Georgia, nothing else you could do other than what you've done by letting people who live in that area know, do some phone banking and some donating. If you've done that, if you haven't, you just gotta wait for the results. But according to a recent study in Science Advances, people are at greater risk of epidemic-related acute stress or depressive symptoms when they have higher daily hours of exposing themselves to COVID-19 information in the media. So, if you want to read about this study, here's this link right here that I'm talking about. So the third tenet, stay calm. Research has shown that people's stress hormone levels and blood pressure drops when they engage in purposeful breathing. Like breathing really deeply from your diaphragm. And that goes really well with what we were talking about with self-care, with exercise. So check out that article. And then our fourth tenet...
I was pretty AFK for work, so I would hardly count myself today.
Our fourth tenet is trying your best to prioritize what you can control. I touched about this a little bit earlier. But you want to differentiate between what you can and cannot control and focus on what you can control in your life, such as how you treat your family, how you use your spare time, and encourage your loved ones and friends to adopt a similar approach, especially if they seem to be someone who is focusing a lot on things that they cannot control. So those are the 4 tenets that we'll talk about right now at the beginning of the stream. And we'll talk about the last 4 after Naxxramas. So I'm sorry if anyone felt seen or read. I wasn't trying to make anyone feel bad because I don't follow these things on a constant basis for myself either. It's partly a reminder for myself. And I find that the new year is really, really good for me to try to recenter myself, to analyze and be mindful of what I'm doing to my body, to my spirit. And I'm not a religious person, but spiritual just in the sense of what kind of negativity, what kind of toxicity I'm having in my life, and how to learn from it, how to move on from it, and how to become a better person than I was the year before. That's what I'm talking about. So